Hey everyone, welcome again to Storytime with Spidey. It's me, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, your beloved host as always. Give me just a second. Oh, what a tangled web I have woven. There we go. Let's get into story time. Now before we get started, I want to apologize for not being with you yesterday. As I said, sometimes I get tangled up in my own web of responsibilities. But I do want to send a special shout out to a young fan by the name of Nair. Yesterday was his birthday. He turned 2. And isn't that awesome? I would have loved to have been there with him, but as I said, we can't be everywhere. With great power comes great responsibility. Let's see here. So, without any further ado, let's get into today's story time. I'll be reading again from Silly Things Happen. I particularly enjoy reading from this book. I think that there's a lot that we can learn about ourselves and how we deal with each other. Sometimes we don't think about it, but it is always important to care about each other and take care of each other. That's what being friends is really about. And today's story is called, I know it looks backwards to you, but Amelia Bedelia. I'm actually going to be reading from this for the very first time, so I'll be finding out about it at the same time you are. It's written by Peggy Parrish, and let's begin. Oh, Amelia Bedelia, your first day of work, and I can't be here. But I made a list for you. You do just what the list says, says Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers got in the car with Mr. Rogers. They drove away. My, what nice folks. I'm going to like working here, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia went inside. Such a grand house. There must be rich folks. These must be rich folks. But I must get to work. Here I stand just looking, and me with a whole lot of things to do. Amelia Bedelia stood there a minute longer. I think I'll make a surprise for them. I'll make a lemon meringue pie. I do make good pies. So Amelia Bedelia went into the kitchen. She put a little of this and a pinch of that into a bowl. She mixed and she rolled. Soon her pie was ready to go into the oven. Looks scrumptious already, especially if you're into lemon meringue pie. There, said Amelia Bedelia. Now that's done. Now let's see what this list says. Amelia Bedelia read, change the towels in the green bathroom. Imagine having such a big house that you have different color themes for different bathrooms. Amelia Bedelia found the green bathroom. Those towels are very nice. Why change them? She thought. Then Amelia Bedelia remembered what Mrs. Rogers had said. She must do just what the list told her. Even if she doesn't understand and doesn't agree, it's her job, so she has to follow the rules. Well, all right, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia got some scissors. She snipped a little here and a little there, and she changed those towels. There, said Amelia Bedelia. She looked at her list again. I have a feeling that she has gotten a little bit off the rails with what she was supposed to be doing. Dust the furniture. You can see there's a lot of furniture to be dusted. Did you ever hear tell of such a silly thing? At my house, we undust the furniture, but to each his own way. Yeah, she has definitely gone off the rails here. Amelia Bedelia took one last look at the bathroom. She saw a big box with the words dusting powder on it. Well, look at that. A special powder to dust with, exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. So Amelia Bedelia dusted the furniture. That should be dusty enough. My, how nice it smells. Yeah, she's obviously very unclear on what she's supposed to be doing. It's important to understand directions as well as follow them. Draw the drapes when the sun comes in. I already have a bad feeling about this. And it looks like I was right. Ah, I see my little buddy Jackson has tuned in. Hey there, Jack. Hope you're being good for Mommy. Not giving her too much trouble. Gonna give her a wave. Yeah, Jax is a really big, devoted fan. He loves to say, Spider-Man, Spider-Man. He makes me excited to do what I do. Where was I? Oh yes, draw the drapes when the sun comes in. Read Amelia Bedelia. She looked up. The sun was coming in. Amelia Bedelia looked at the list again. Draw the drapes? That's what it says. I'm not much of a hand at drawing, but I'll try. So Amelia Bedelia sat right down and she drew those drapes. Amelia Bedelia marked off about the drapes. Now what? I don't think the Rogers is going to be very happy when they get home. Let me make sure my spider stickiness isn't interfering and I don't miss a page. Just as I thought. Sometimes you can tell the page is just feeling a little too thick. Put the lights out when you finish in the living room. I can tell this is going to be a mess. And as you can see, she is once again not understanding the instructions she was given. Put the lights out when you finish in the living room. Amelia Bedelia thought about this a minute. She switched off the lights. Then she carefully unscrewed each bulb, and Amelia Bedelia put the lights out. Well, hello, Kelly. Nice of you to join me. So those things need to be aired out too, just like pillows and babies. Oh, I do have a lot to learn. She really does. My pie! Exclaimed Amelia Bedelia. She hurried to the kitchen. Just right, she said. She took the pie out of the oven and put it on the table to cool. Then she looked at the list. Measure 2 cups of rice. I'm wondering how she's going to botch this. Oh, we can see, here she is with a tape measure. That's clearly not how that works. That's next, said Amelia Bedelia. Amelia Bedelia found 2 cups. She filled them with rice. And Amelia Bedelia measured that rice. Amelia Bedelia laughed. These folks do want me to do funny things. Then she poured the rice back into the container. You just have to face palm at that. Let's see. What's her next instruction and how is she going to bungle this one? The meat market will deliver a steak and a chicken. Please trim the fat before you put the steak in the icebox. And please dress the chicken. Oh boy. And back in those days, they didn't have refrigerators. They had like a container that they would put a big block of ice in to keep everything cool. Funny thing is, even when they switched to the electric refrigerators that you and I use, a lot of people still said icebox because that's what they were used to saying. Just a little fun fact. When the meat arrived, Amelia Bedelia opened the bag. She looked at the steak for a long time. Yes, she said, that will do nicely. Amelia Bedelia got some lace and bits of ribbon, and Amelia Bedelia trimmed that fat before she put the steak in the icebox. They thought she meant putting trim on the fat. Or she thought that's what they meant. Now I must dress the chicken. I wonder if she wants a he chicken or a she chicken. I knew she was going to do that. Amelia Bedelia went right to work. Soon the chicken was finished. Amelia Bedelia heard the door open. The folks are back, she said. She rushed out to meet them. This is going to be a disaster. I can feel it. Amelia Bedelia, why are all the light bulbs outside? Asked Mr. Rogers. The list just said to put the lights out, said Amelia Bedelia. Didn't say anything to bring them back in. Oh, I do hope they didn't get aired too long. Amelia Bedelia, the sun will fade the furniture. I asked you to draw the drapes, said Mrs. Rogers. I did, see? And here we can see them seeing the way that she has bungled everything they asked her to do. She held up her picture. Then Mrs. Rogers saw the furniture. The furniture! She cried. Oh, did I dust it well enough? Asked Amelia Bedelia. That's such nice dusting powder. Mr. Rogers went to wash his hands. I say, these are very unusual towels. Mrs. Rogers dashed into the bathroom. Oh, my best towels, she said. Didn't I change them enough? Said Amelia Bedelia. Mrs. Rogers went to the kitchen. I'll cook the dinner. Where's the rice I asked you to measure? I put it back in the container, but I remember it measured 4.5 inches. Was the meat delivered? Asked Mrs. Rogers. I think at this point I would be afraid to know what else she had done. Yes, said Amelia Bedelia. I trimmed the fat just like you said. It does look nice. Mrs. Rogers rushed to the icebox. She opened it. Lace? Ribbons? Oh dear, said Mrs. Rogers. The chicken. You dressed the chicken? Asked Mrs. Rogers. Is she ever going to learn? Yes, I found the nicest box to put him in, said Amelia Bedelia. Box! Exclaimed Mrs. Rogers. Mrs. Rogers hurried over to the box. She lifted the lid. There was the chicken, and he was just as dressed as he could be. I think I'm actually going to stop here right now. Amelia didn't seem to understand the instructions she was given. And that's why sometimes it's best for us to think and ask questions before we react to things. Like, I have actually read a lot of things on the internet over the last few days. Some of it is just flat out not true. And people are reacting because they just don't take time to check. That's important in every aspect of life. Even when I look at a situation, when I go into a battle, I pay attention to everything in front of me and everything around me, because there's some mistakes I just can't afford to make. Poor Amelia has done an entire day's worth of work and accomplished nothing because she went about every bit of it the wrong way. That's something we just don't want to do. But that's all the time we have for today. I think that next time, before I finish Amelia's fun story, I'm going to treat you guys to another art lesson in how to draw my lovely little self. So until next time, Excelsior! Till next time.